Gyi, I want to ask you about metrics. We started talking about really nerdy business school sales funnel velocity and conversion rates. Metrics important. I want you to read this comment on LinkedIn because I had something similar happen. But read this out, and then we're going to talk about metrics.
Okay, so we received. This is actually an email that we received. We were talking to lawyers. We were just asking them about what kind of metrics they use at their firm. And first they responded metrics, just question mark, and then so we tried to say, hey, yeah, we're trying to get a sense of what business metrics you're using. And here was the response: we are professionals. We do not consider ourselves as running a business. We don't use metrics to rate each other. We don't keep up with the number of signed cases, nor do we keep up with billable hours. Each of us does. We service clients. We obviously get paid to do that, and our personal compensation is based on production as it must be. We try to be frugal on expenses and review monthly income and expense reports as we must. Ah, yes. And, so two things about this little thing before we really dive into this and get super ranty. Number one is this implication that you can't be a professional and run a business, right? I love that one. Oh, we're not business people. We're not business owners. We're lawyers.
We're above that
stuff.
stuff.
So you can't be a great lawyer? You can't be a great lawyer and be a good business person? Hashtag LHLM. I dare you. And again, look, I'm not even going to, the specific metrics that they're talking about here, do I care really whether you use metrics to rate each other? I mean, as a management, there should be some kind of, in my opinion, some kind of way, some management strategy. Does that mean it has a metric or not? Like, I don't really care, but come on. We don't run a business?
Yeah, I mean...
what do you think, Conrad? No metrics? You're anti-metrics these days?
I think, I went to business school, and so I think one of the fallacies you can get into is everything can be run by metrics. And so having said that, I think I'm hoping that everyone who has sat through and listened to us before understands where we're coming from on this. But this is you do run a business, and being a professional actually means that you are in a business. And B, it just goes back to that very, very old business edict that what gets measured gets done. I just found this one. I had the same thing. Gary Falkowitz on his law firm Intake Fundamentals Facebook group said, how confident are you that you answer every inbound? How confident are you that every inbound call is answered? And I answered his question was would you like the data that shows those who are very confident are wrong? Someone wrote back that says, I don't chase leads. We have 30 new calls a day. I only accept 3 cases a month. So a few missed calls isn't going to move the needle on any metric.
It will on one.
It absolutely will on one. And if you're that picky on those clients, right, you need to find those best clients. And those clients who are the really, really good clients who are just going to find you because you're amazing, they expect to be treated very, very well. That has always been the case.
I promise you, if we tracked that story over the course of a year, I would bet you lunch that they get a negative review for bad response on Google.
Well, yeah. Right. So being responsive, that was one of the most important things. But, the metrics that I think the other side of this, and I think you and I deal with this all day long, is there's so many metrics. You and I can create numbers out of everything. And so I do think part of the art of running a business, especially a law firm, is what are we really looking at? What are the metrics that are really important, right? And I get tired of digital marketing people throwing horseshit metrics at their clients all the time, right? So
what?
Even
that happens.
Shocking, I know. But I've talked about this before. If you're counting leads instead of consultations, what are you doing? You don't want leads. You don't want your phone ringing off the hook with no consultations. You want to talk about consultations. So why are you talking about
cases?
And cases, right? Why are you
Right.
talking to your digital marketing agency about the number of leads that they generate or the number of likes that they generate for Facebook or the number of blog posts that they wrote last week? Like these there are a lot, or the rankings for things that no one is looking for, right? There's so many
Ranking
garbage
reports.
metrics, right? This is why, like, our knee jerk with what you read was like, you're an idiot, you are a business and you need numbers, right? That's real. But then I can kind of understand it because especially the marketing agencies, we throw so many useless metrics at the industry that I think that might be where some of this comes from, right?
Not in this case. You're right, and I do think that that's a huge issue. But this is the classic example of we're lawyers, we're special. Practicing law is not like running a business. We don't use any of these. All this business talk is nonsense to us. That's what this is about. And again, my thing, and go check out, we'll put the link to the conversation on LinkedIn, so feel free to join in. There are tons of aspects. Mike Whalen had some great points. There are lots of aspects to practicing law that don't lend themselves well to metrics. Here's one: empathy for your client, right? Like, how are you going to measure that, really? Oh, we're at 8 on the empathy scale. No, of course. And there's all sorts of substantive issues related to practicing law that don't have metrics. But I'm talking business here, right? And so in this case, this person, they're talking, we don't run a business, right? To your point, though, lots of trash metrics overload. Again, I think Whalen also agreed with you on, choosing the right metrics. I think there's like that. Yes, of course, you can run yourself silly chasing the wrong metrics.
Yeah, absolutely.
And shout out to Jeremy Baker, who, said he strives to be professional and a business person. They aren't mutually exclusive. Exactly, right? I think he really nailed that one for me. But anyway, are we talking about metrics? Are we talking about what metrics to measure? Or
we could do a whole show on that. You want to do a whole show on the
metrics that matter.
To measure? Metrics that matter. I feel like that's a book somewhere.
Metrics that matter. It is now. I just wrote it.
Yeah. No, we'll do a whole session on metrics that matter, right? Because I do think there's too much that you can look at. There's too much.
What are the worst metrics you see marketers using?
Great. Let's continue being mean to people and we'll make fun of them. The worst metrics, I will give you 2, and then it's your turn. Number 1 is ranking reports. How you rank for things that no one is looking for. Also, personalization, ranking reports don't matter. Number 2 is the social media vanity signals that are bullshit. And by watching the bullshit numbers, so I will use, like, someone sent this to me the other day, was like, you should, I made a comment somewhere on social, and someone said, you should follow blah, 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 because she really gets it. And I'm assuming this was blah, blah, blah's marketing agency trying to get her more likes. But she was like new on Instagram. She had made like 97 posts and she had 4.2 million followers, right? So, oh, great. There's a metric that is absolutely completely made up. But if you focus on something like, how many followers do I have? Well, it's very easy for me to go get you 4.2 million bots to sign up to follow you. And now you feel like you're doing a great job. So metrics are not just unhelpful, but some of them can actually incent you or your agency to undertake dubious tactics as well as
reputation damage,
downright fraud. Yeah,
reputation damage for sure. You didn't ask me, I don't think, but I'm going to tell you the one that's really been bothering me.
As for 2, you got to come up with 2.
2, okay. This is one that's been really bothering me. I don't know if it's like my number 1 or my number 2, but it's definitely top 5. Bounce rate. For the love of God, people. I mean, honestly, I still see this.
Hey, Gyi, what's bounce rate?
All right. This is from Google Analytics, so we'll give the exact definition. A bounce is a single-page session on your site. In analytics, a bounce is calculated specifically as a session that triggers only a single request to the analytics server, such as when a user opens a single page on your site and then exits without triggering any other requests to the analytics server during that session. So there's more on this. But anyway, what you see is all the time marketing person talking about how important it is to improve your bounce rate. And maybe if you're a publisher or you've got paying for ads or something like that bounce rate might matter, right? You want to keep people on your site. You don't want them bouncing off the site. But here's the thing. You land on a landing page, you fill out a form, and you're done. It doesn't redirect you to a thank you page, and you close your browser. That's a bounce. Guess what else that is? A conversion. So ignore bounce rate, in my opinion.
Hey, Gyi, does bounce rate impact your SEO traffic?
Oh, that's the other one, right? Reduce your bounce rate to increase your rankings, right?
Is that a thing?
Well, the conspiracy theorists believe that Google is using Google Analytics as part of their source data for rank data, and Google has been adamant that is outrageous to even accuse them of. I'll tell you this. I'm not in there using Google Analytics. Could they be using some kind of measurement of engagement from search results and back, maybe in a limited way? Maybe. But I will tell you this, bounce rate is not that. And bounce rate has absolutely no impact on your rankings whatsoever. Please hashtag LHLM me if you want to fight about it. I'm just picking fights today, I guess.
You keep inviting. We should have the.
I'm trying to get people on the hashtag, I guess.
The entire episode of you're going to come on LHLM and Gyi will make fun of you.
Yeah. I'll give you guys number 2. Another horrible metric. Traffic. Traffic, people.
Yeah.
Because Conrad's over here talking about don't count leads that aren't qualified. Yeah. Right? Don't count conversion pixel fires. Well, guess what? Guess what else is some pixel firing? Traffic. Do you know? So first of all, I'm not even going to get into the fight about direct traffic and traffic by source and all that stuff. I'm just going to tell you this. I'm going to give you concede all those. And if you're measuring organic traffic, Google organic traffic, and it's not where your clients come from, why are you measuring it? Do you really care about those organic visits from other countries when you're a local bankruptcy lawyer?
Right.
Or how about from another state? You're a local criminal defense lawyer or DUI lawyer or family lawyer, and you serve a very specific location. Why are you measuring traffic from other states that's not converting?
Right.
And again, it's in the reports.
So it's actually an interesting data. My anecdote with that, and you and I are both old school SEO guys. I did a ton of
old
research
for
on
sure.
That. Yeah, and SEO guys for sure, right?
Yeah, I guess.
But I did a ton of study across our clients and found that on average, I think the number was 2.7. I did actually publish this with the ABA. 2.7% of traffic would contact a law firm, right? Or organic traffic, right? So and the theory was all right, the more traffic, the more contacts you're going to get, which is great. And this is where averages are just so not helpful, right? And the metrics become so unhelpful. When you look at it's the distribution of that. And there was a very, very wide variability. And what we found is a huge correlation between page count, which was like long tail searching, and garbage unrelated to I want to hire lawyer searches. So page count driving more traffic and having a very, very low conversion rate. So yeah, you may have a lot of traffic because you've got a lot of long tail content out there. That doesn't mean that they're going to do anything. We've got I think I'm stabbing at these numbers here. We've got a client that gets 2 or 3 actual clients a month, and they're doing something like 200,000 sessions a month as well, right? And it's just generating 2 or 3 clients. Now, we need that session to actually make those conversions happen. We need that page breadth, but it's not that if we were to double our conversion, it just means one extra needle in the haystack, right?
And I'm going to throw 2 more things to really mess up traffic. how about this? How about all the people that never click through the local pack to your website at all? Guess where they don't show up?
Ooh.
Traffic. Those
Yeah.
are phone calls without traffic. And then the other thing that I think is worth pointing out, especially if you're doing brand building, if you're going to look at traffic at all, you have to segment it by brand versus non-brand. Brand traffic is a totally different ball game than non-brand traffic, right? Brand traffic is people that know your name. And how that converts and what those expectations are and yada, yada, yada. And by the way, a lot of that brand traffic might not even be potential clients. It might be, other people are looking you up for a variety of reasons, right? Could be the court. Anyway, so, look, if you're going to look at a traffic metric, look at non-brand organic converting traffic. That's what I want to see.
Okay. And I'm going to take that one step further. If you're running advertising and you don't have that access to that brand traffic broken out, you could be paying through the nose to your agency. You think you're buying Motorcycle Accident Lawyer Detroit, and you're really buying for $125 a click, and you're really buying Smith & Jones for $5 a click. So don't let your agency pull the wool over your eyes by selling you your brand traffic as non-branded traffic.
Right.
Okay.
Or your SEO agency taking credit for brand organic traffic that's being driven by your TV buy.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Oh, traffic's way up. Well, yeah, this is because people are searching because they saw our ad.
Right.
Talking about.
Okay. This brings us to the end of the Grumpy Gyi and Conrad show.
Sorry. Yikes. Yikes. Not enough coffee, I guess, maybe. I don't know.
We will see you in 2 weeks. I think our next session is going to be metrics that matter. We just did 4 metrics that we hate. We might have to do a metrics that matter session to make up for being grumpy. We'll see you later.
Money makes a world go round. Money makes a world go round.
Thank you for listening to Lunch Hour Legal Marketing. If you'd like more information about what you heard today, please visit LegalTalkNetwork.com. Subscribe via Apple Podcasts and RSS. Follow Legal Talk Network on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram.